structured kind of respect. Because you learn somebody's Dhamma, but you have no respect for that person. Let's say, in a very mild example, you have inherited a lot of things from your mother and father. Then you are investing, you are doing other things, you are doing buying and selling, but you don't even think about your mother and father, how you got that money. Right? So you should have that gratitude, that respect. That is how even the knowledge that you take as a Dhamma knowledge will process into your heart. Otherwise it will stay here. You will be going to many talks, retreats, but nothing is going to make any difference. It is because that you have no respect. That means I emphasize chanting is very important. It is another way to train your thoughts. So such people, I mean, there may be a couple of them, I haven't met a lot, who might think only a sitting meditation might work for my Dhamma practice. It is a wrong, it is a misunderstanding. And also, if somebody thinks only the chanting will help me in training the mind, it is also a misunderstanding. And if you are somebody who only think only dana, giving dana is only helping me to go into Dhamma journey, it is also a misunderstanding. Only sila will help me, also a misunderstanding. We need everything together. It's a blend. When you practice dana, practice dana. When you practice sila, practice sila. If you want to go to a retreat, go for that retreat if you can. And then every day make a chanting practice. When you are doing all together in a moderate way, not too much. Don't do anything too much. Chanting, dana, sila, retreat, don't do any of them too much. If you do too much, you will end up with somebody who will have some issues. It's like some food, you took it, but they are not digested. They are going to digest outside of your bowels. You're getting cancers, colon cancers. The food has to be digested within your body, not outside of that particular place. Right? So, I emphasize that chanting is one of the ways of training the thoughts. How does it work? Now you may think, okay, I go to, let's say, let me clarify. Meditation is not only a sitting practice. We meditate all the time. How do we meditate? The Buddhist meditation is not just being aware of what is happening around and beyond you. That is Western mindfulness. They just sit down and then they want to spread this non-judgmental awareness, which is called mindful meditation, started by Joan Kabat-Zinn at UMass, Boston. This is what, the Western mindfulness movement goes. But here, in the Satipatthana Suttas, Buddha says, it is a multifaceted practice. Whenever you talk, you know what you talk. Before talk, during the talk, after talk. When you eat, you know. When you even don't talk, you are silent. You know why you are silent. Some people don't know. It is not that you being silent, you have an argument with somebody at home. Right? You may do it as a revenge. But this silence means you know why you are not talking. And then even you walk, even you drive, even you do other things, whatever the activities you are doing, you are conscious of what you are doing. That is Buddhist meditation, Satipatthana. So this means you are creating kusala thoughts. Right? So how does chanting create kusala thoughts? Now, of course, if we go to the Satipatthanas, definitely we know we are creating kusala thoughts. There's no argument for that. How about chanting? You read a book like this, Buddha Saranang Gacchami, Dhamma Saranang Gacchami, Evam Me Sutang, so and so forth. Yani the Bhutani, Karaniya Matta Kusalina, Bojjanga Suttas, Dhamma Chakapatana Sutta. How does it create kusala thoughts? Any idea? This is the place we are going to be very much inspired by the Buddha. Because we are being inspired, and then while you are chanting, in order for you to reduce mistakes, what you are going to do is that you're going to understand what is inside of these suttas. It is not just a scanning of the suttas. Some people, they just recite. Karaniya matta kusalene antan santam padang. They don't know what is inside. Right? So, that means while you are chanting, you should be able to at least to get a sense of what you are chanting. That is more beneficial. That is where you are going to create more kusalas. Somebody might say, no, I am happy, I don't want to check the meaning, I can't read the meaning, I just simply be happy, I respect the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Still you are creating good karma, but that is where you might be only keep chanting without understanding what the meaning is all about. And also, the Buddhist chanting is not a mantra, right? Now in Mahayana, let's say, let's take the Karaniya Metta Sutta here, the third sutta here. And in this sutta, you know, you are supposed to practice metta to all beings, all living beings. You can't exclude anybody in that practice. But what if you say, no, I don't want to learn metta practice from the sutta. I just say, may I be well, happy, peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have patience, courage, determination to meet and overcome inevitable problems, difficulties, and failures. Then, if you do this only, it will become a mantra. Like Amitofo. Amitofo. People might submit this to an online platform. The Buddhist metta is not a mantra. It is a structured practice. It's a very structured practice. Probably, I think I can show you. Do we have the projector over here? Can you make the projector? Set it up. Okay. Till he arranges that. I want to say Buddhist. Now, one example is, let's take Karaniya Metta Sutta. It is a very popular chanting. I want to say that this is not a mantra. Don't bring this, even this metta as a mantra. Buddhism has no mantras. Mantras means you keep saying, and then that will generate a certain thing. You will generate some goodwill. You will generate some positive thoughts, definitely. There's no argument for that. But it is not how the Buddha asks us to do it. Let's say now we have how many people here? Maybe 30, 40 people here. We might think, okay, let's wish somebody's happiness today. Yes, definitely we are creating positive thought. It is good. We are doing that. Even you are a Christian, Muslim, you might do it. But it is not what the Buddha asks in the suttas, especially for the Metta Sutta. So one of the mistakes you may do is that you may take chanting as a mantra. It is a fundamental mistake. Okay, so one of the very fundamental mistakes about chanting is thinking chanting is a mantra. We don't have mantras, but you will get all the benefits if you chant the proper way. Now you take the Metta Sutta. Now if somebody merely chants Karaniya matta kusalene antam santam padang abhisamicca sakko ujucha, so and so forth, that person initially may have devotion. You have lots of, maybe you have respect. But if you look at the sutta itself, you see the sutta talks about 15 skillful habits. Yeah, the sutta talks about 15 skillful habits. So if somebody does not read the meaning, can that person have any idea about this? There's no idea about it. Even if you see a translation, you don't see it. I call them as, if you want to practice metta, you should have practiced 15 skillful habits before that practice, because that is a preparation. You should be talented in your skillful practice. You should have moral uprightness. Suju means you should be honest. Suvacho means you should be open to Kalyana Mitta's advice. Mudu means you should be soft-hearted whenever necessary, not all the time. Whenever necessary. You should be anatimani, humble. You should be content, santussako. You should be easily supportable, not a person who does not complain a lot. Appakicho, you should create time for whatever the things you need in your life, spiritual life. You should have a light life, simple life. Sallahuka buddhi. Your senses should be better calmed enough. You should be able to rise to an occasion whenever necessary. That means you know where, what time do you need to rise to a certain situation. Appagabbo means you should be non-aggressive. Kulesu ananugiddu, you should not be too much greedy you should not be greedy for other people and things. Nachakuddang samachari kinchiyena vinyo paripod, you should not be blamed, criticized by the wise people. Now where do we find these skillful habits? See the third line of the first stanza, sakko, uju, suju, suacho, mudu, anatimani, santussako, subaro, appakicho, sallahuka buddhi, santindriyo, nipako, appagappo, kuleswanu, and then this whole two lines, nachakoddan samachari kinchiyena vinyo parepo. This is the 15th one. This one. Up until the third stanza of this sutta, the sutta talks about how to become a person who has 15 skillful habits. That means you need these 5 to practice metta. Then your skillful practice, metta practice, has to go this way. You should be concerned about the strength and size of the beings for whom you are going to practice metta to. Does size matter to us in this practice? Size and the strength. Have you ever thought that the size and the size matter, the strength matter to our metta practice, loving kindness practice? You may have never thought about it.
What size? What size?
Size means size of the beings. Size of the beings. Huh? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we normally say small or expanding.
Huh? Let's see what the Buddha says. Verse number 4. Go to verse number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yekechpana bhutatvi, if there are any being, tasava tavarava. Tasa means, tasa here means anybody who are terrified. Tavarava means not positioned very well. Anavasesa. Dighavāye mahantava majjima. Diga means long, any being whose bodies are long. Mahanta, any being whose bodies are large. Majjima means middle size. Rassakanugatula, that means short and small. Why Buddha asks us to think about these manifestations? Why is it? Now you said size of the body does not, maybe not matter. Why is it? Then you understand who is your audience for the metta. Right? Now I'm going to bring up this very famous story I normally share with my Dhamma audience. Cobra and the monk, metta monk. There was one monk who has been practicing metta since morning till the evening. Other monks are very curious about him because he said he practices metta since the morning. Don't talk to me, I'm practicing metta. Too much into metta now, since the morning, leaving the dana time. But one day after a long time, he was bitten by a snake. He passed away. Then all the monks reported this to the Buddha. Said that particular monk who self-claims that he is practicing metta was bitten by a snake, cobra. He passed away. How come? Metta. The Buddha said, yes, he practiced metta, but he did not practice metta to 4 types of snakes. Unfortunately, the snake he was stung was that kind of a snake. What does it mean? The snake did not feel his metta. He generally practiced meditation, metta. May all beings in the east side, west side, north, south, who are they? Do we know who are they? Who are in the west? Who are in the south? Who are in the northwest? Who are in the northeast? No idea. Right? That means, when you practice metta, you should have a sense, at least a sense, that which beings are next to me, near me. Let's say you are in a place where a lot of wild elephants are living. Okay, wild elephants are out there. So I may practice this metta to them, wild elephants. You are in a place where there are a lot of other animals, maybe snakes, maybe other animals, then you particularly understand your surroundings. Is it good to know our surroundings sometimes? It is good. Our neighbors also, right? Even our other people. Then that is why he was bitten by that snake. Because in his metta practice, this particular snake family was not addressed. That means if you still complain to us, complain to anybody, I have lots of problem in my family household, that means that particular bad person was not adequately given the metta. You haven't done enough metta to that person. You do it for many other people outside without understanding who they are, but those people in the household were not felt your metta. This is one thing to think about. That means size of the beings matter.
It means that this metta, it has to be an object, a target. They must be
Yeah, in the first place.
Then why can you cover?
Well, this is a specific incident. That means your metta practice initially has to have an audience. Because if you don't know the audience, you do something good, especially you will do things like dana or whatever the things. But for metta, you should do it by understanding your audience. Let's say you do it in the first place. Later on you say, may all living beings well and happy. Then you come to the point you don't know who they are at that point. Maybe aliens too. Right? But in the first place, you have to think about who is the audience, who is there with me, who is always talking to me, who has bad reactions to me, who has issues with me. That is where the metta practice goes. Now you understand the size of the beings and the strength. Some beings are very strong. That matters.
One thing that means, it means that we go specific first, then general. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. More to the specifics. Yeah. Then other manifestations. Verse number 5. Visibility, distance, rebirth seeking. Let's go to verse number 5. This one. Ditta vaeva ditta echadure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhavesiva sabbe satta bhavantu. Ditta means any being you can see. That means definitely what you can see now in your household, outside of your house, garden, outside of your house, maybe your city, maybe your area. Although otherwise you can't see them. Then Aditta means beings you can't see them. Now let's say that you may say that I see some giraffe in a park in Kenya, I want to practice metta to them. But they are far away, you do it. But they are not the animals you are working with in your household. Especially you have to be specific for them in the first place. Then Vasanti, Dure means distance and Avidure means near. And the rest. Even Sambhavesi means any beings who are going to be beings. So specifics matter in your metta practice. Now I am going to go back to chanting. If you don't know these things, if you simply say, may I be well, happy, and may all and all that, how can that give you the optimal results of your metta practice? Unless you are not attacked by anybody, right? If somebody is attacking you too much, maybe that person was not felt enough metta from you. Right? Sometimes you think you are a very good person, but people are attacking you. Since the morning till the evening. Why is it? You haven't been able to practice enough metta to that person. Right? So that is something to think about. Now let's go back to our chanting thing. I wanted to tell you that chanting is not a mere prayer. It is something going beyond. But if you ask me, let's say if I get scared, if I am stressed out, if I am depressed, what can I do? How do I have a good mind to read these suttas? Of course, you won't have a good mind. At that point, I will bring up another sutta, Dajagga Sutta. Right? This Dajagga Sutta is very important. Why is it? Why Dajagga Sutta is very important? This sutta talks about what the Buddha told Devas to do when they were scared. It is very usual that Sura, Asura, Devas and Asuras were in fight. Why is it? They were always fighting. Because these Asuras were in the Deva world before. They were chased out by the Devas. So they were fighting. Most of the time, Asuras win the game. They win over the Deva. Devas, they are chased out from other places too. So, then the Devas approached the Buddha, told the Buddha, Bhante, we are very scared because the Asuras have become more powerful lately. So, we are very scared. What can we do? Now, you are looking for the Devas when you are scared. Now, Devas have become very scared now. Interesting, huh? They have become very scared. Then asked the Buddha, what can we do? Then the Buddha asked, what did you do when you scared? Then they said, when we were scared, we thought about one particular higher god in their realm. They said, Varuna. Varuna is a very famous Indian god who is the higher deva for the morality. They say you can't even tell a secret to somebody because Varuna, being the third person, listens to you. Let's say you tell a secret to somebody, Varuna can hear everything. But they prayed for the Varuna, but Varuna did not help them. Then the Buddha asked, what did you do after? He said, then Pajapati, another deva. Then Isana. Then Sakka, finally. But none of them could help us. We were still scared. Then the Buddha said, it is not surprising because the Sakka is somebody who has not eliminated Lobha Dosa Moha. So when you are scared because you have Lobha Dosa Moha, you are thinking about somebody who has the same Lobha Dosa Moha, how come it is going to work out for you? Then he said, the Buddha has no Lobha Dosa Moha. Then when you think about him, your Lobha Dosa Moha will at least go away. That is why. Then the Buddha said, okay, let me tell you. In case you get scared, horripilated, stressed out, depressed, and all that, going through a bad mental states, you can think about me. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Pusa Dhamma Sarati Sattadiya Manusana Buddho Bhagavati. While you are thinking about me, you have to think about 9 great qualities. Arahang Samma Sambuddha Vijjacharana Sampanna Sugata Lokavidu Anuttaro Pusa Dhamma Sarati Sattadiya Manusana Buddho Bhagavati. That means even for you, when you think about the Buddha in this way, you should know what this each quality means. Otherwise, it's a mere chant. You don't know what it is, so you only have the devotional part. So the more you understand about the Buddha's qualities, you have a strong backup in alleviating your fears. Buddha is Arahant because of this and that. He is Samma Sambuddha because of this and that. He is Vijjacharana Sampanna because of this and that. So that is going to be a strong, I would say, kind of a shield in understanding your fears. Otherwise, what you will have to do is that you will keep chanting itipiso, itipiso, itipiso. You never know what it is because you are very scared. You will keep chanting, going for a number. Then the Buddha says something very interesting. In case your fear still avails, it is still there, then you should think about the Dhamma. What does it mean? Dhamma should be more powerful then. Because, we are not trying to see who is more powerful. Why did the Buddha ask them to think about Dhamma? Swakhato Sanditthiko, Akaliko, Ehipasiko, Opanayiko, Pachattang Veditabbo, Vinyohiti. 6 qualities. Think about the Dhamma. Even after thinking about the Dhamma's 6 qualities, still your fears are keep continuing, then you should think about the Sangha. Here it is said, Noche Dhammang Sareyata Niyanikang Sudesitang Ata Sangang Sareyata. In case after thinking about Dhamma doesn't work, Ata Sangang Sareyata, you can think about the Sangha. Loka Jettang Narasama. Supatipanno, Ujupatipanno, Nyayapatipanno, Samijipatipanno, so and so forth. There are 9. Then your fears should be definitely, taken care by this remembrance of the Sangha. Buddha, first approach is the Buddha, second Dhamma, Sangha. Let's say you are meeting with a very dangerous situation, you can think. But Buddha never said that these should be considered as what you call mantras. Have you ever heard people saying mantras and saying you should understand the meaning of mantra? I don't think they say like that. You don't need to understand mantra. Mantra is mantra. It's a Sanskrit based thing, right? Now there are lots of mantra type chanting have been coming to our chanting book at the end. Lot of chanting about chanting for the rain, chanting to see how the water's bubbling. Chalanandana parit. When you chant, then you will see rain. At the end of the chanting book, you see some of the suttas, they have been added very lately because of the hybrid nature of the Mahayana Theravada mixture. I'm not saying they are bad, they are not good, whatever the good thing should be working for you. But I'm telling you how they were added as a mantra. But suttas are not mantras. That is one misunderstanding, it's a mistake. We have to dispel. Sutras are not mantras. Second, language matters in a certain way. Because if you say it's okay just to chant by mistaking, then my question is, then why you are basing your Dhamma journey on a Tipitaka, textbooks? Then textbooks may carry wrong things too, right? So you may need to learn at least the basics. Third thing is, as our topic talks about, can you chant or pray wrongly? It depends. Let's say you are very devotional, but maybe you are not chanting by understanding the sutta text. One good example is Metta Sutta. If any one of you have been chanting, let's take this sutta, Metta Sutta, without understanding what the sutta says, you won't be able to get the full benefits of that practice because you don't know what it is. In another very example, I would say, if I speak Sinhala language, I say, okay, I'm going to do a blessing for you. And you think, okay, the Bhante is talking in his language. Maybe he's saying something good. But if I say in your own language, maybe in English, then you understand what I'm saying. At the same time, you have so much respect to that. So that means you may chant wrongly if you don't understand what you chant. It is very important, at the very least, to understand what is the basics of that sutta. So you will create more good karmas, at the same time create more kusala thoughts. Because every time you know, okay, next time, Sakko, spiritually talented, then you understand, this is what it says. Uju, morally upright. What is morally upright? That means when we consider about the virtues of other people, let's say you have a friend who, not a friend, maybe you know somebody who makes mistakes all the time. You may be very vocal about it. This person is always making mistakes. But when the same mistake is done by somebody who is close to you, are you similarly vocal about it? Not that fast, maybe not that fast, because that moral mind is not upright. it is kind of shaky, you know, right? That means we should be able to see any good of anybody. Let's say if you have an enemy, you're not supposed to have enemies in Buddhism. Let's say you dislike somebody, but that person does a good thing. We should be able to take it as good, not because of the person, but because you see the action. And you see a wrong thing, a mistake from a good person, you should consider. You might not tell it to that person, make a big problem, seeing, but you still consider this is a problem. Then you are straightening your morality. That is uju. Suju means honesty. Now when you say this, sakko, uju, chasu, you think about this aspect. So your chanting works much better. On one side you are devotional, on one side your Dhamma knowledge increases. You are creating more kusalas. So the two practices work on two sides, and finally creating answers to your prayers. Some people might say, I've been chanting every day for many years, but my chanting, my prayers are not answered by anybody. How do they answer your prayers? Because they don't know what you chant. Right? Like the Devas in the Ratana Sutta, right? What happened in Ratana Sutta? Yani the bhutani samagatani bummani vaya nivantaliki. Yes.
Questions. What if we really don't know the meaning of the sutta, but we are chanting? Is there any benefit?
Yeah, still have benefits. But you are not creating the full benefit. Some benefits. Because you have respect. You have happiness for that. You may relieve yourself, but you are not getting the full benefits. What do you want? You want to get the full benefit, or you get kind of a 20% benefit, a full benefits?
If you understand but pronunciation because of different languages, it's like
We'll come to that. Now we are coming to the pronunciation part. Still we are talking about the chanting in general, chanting mistakes. Now we are heading to the pronunciation part. So in the Ratana Sutta, Yani the Bhutani Samagatani Bummani Vaya Nivantalike. Now the Buddha asked Bhante Ananda to recite this. Bhante Ananda says, whatever the Deva on the ground and in the sky, please listen to me. Tasmahi Bhuta Nisameta Sabbe Mettan Karota. He says, please send metta to these people in the Vesali. That means those devas have not done their job. They haven't done their responsibility. Why? Then he says, Mettan Karota Mansiya Pajaya. Divacha Rattocha Harantiye Baling. These people are offering to you day and night. Tasmahini Rakkata Mata. Come here very fast without delay and help them. What does it mean? If you don't do that in the proper way, devas don't listen to you. That means they've been doing for long. But here, these people were deluded with the government over there, you know. At that time, the Lichavins were not very powerful at that time. So then Bhante Ananda asks, makes an open invitation to all the gods in the sky and on the ground. Please come and help them. But they've been praying for the gods. That's the funny thing. Lichavins have been doing it for a long time, putting flowers, putting offerings, but they have been going through the worst situation in their life. Their people were killed by the non-humans, they had no food, sicknesses were going everywhere, pandemics. That means we have to do it in the proper way. Otherwise we will get less of what it is. Now let's go to the pronunciation part. What do you think about the pronunciation? Now I said language matters, right? So here what we need to understand is that language still matters, because if you ignore the language, then what will happen is that you will mispronounce. You can still mispronounce, but the problem is if you pronounce well, then you understand the particular specifics of the chanting. Now let's say if you go back to the Metta Sutta, Karaniya Matta Kusalena Yantang Santang Padang Abhisamecha Sakko Ujucha Sujucha Suacho Chasamudu Anatimani. Now, I think there are lot of mistakes happening with this text. But in some places, you see some variants, some Burmese variants, Thai variants. So we do understand that. It's okay. But other than that, there is no problem. Do you have any other particular area you think that you mispronounced the text? Now, Buddhang Saranam Gaccham. Some people say Buddhang Saranam Gaccham. Just Buddhang Saranam Gaccham. Right? And yeah, there are some mistakes some people make, even Sri Lankans, even Thai, even Burmese. So then that is why you need to study these things under a teacher, like the meditation. It is very important to study like that, because otherwise you will make issues. Yeah.
Bhante, how about the different melody? Like for example, when I listened to Bhante in Ra, he was chanting the Kalaniya Metta Sutra, different melody, different way, Buddhist Mahavihara.
Actually, I met him this Sunday in the Dhamma Dana here. I asked him about it.
Yeah.
He said, it is not my style. Devotees had the style, I follow.
So it also goes back to...
You mean that Subang Chao?
Yeah, the different
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
And also it goes back to what I heard from an audio of our late chief. He says that certain melody of chanting does attract the devas to come, because when they heard the melody, then they will love it, and they will come to mass. But my question here is, how do we identify which melody is better?
Okay, a very good question. Now in the Dhamma there is a statement, Runna midam bhikkave Gita. You should never chant as a song. Runna midam bhikkave Gita. That means because when you bring chanting into a more melodious voice, of course some of the people might do just to take the new audience. It might be okay for them, but in the Dhamma journey, if you make it more melodious, because you are making it melodious in a way that you want to attract people probably. Maybe you want to make it as a normal classical song. That might not be appropriate. Yes. Huh?
I mean, chanting the song, making melody.
Yes. So I think the better thing is you just chant Karaniyam. Don't add a lot of flavors into this. It's like that you adding lots of flavors to your food. You're getting a different taste finally. Just chant the way how it is, in your own way. There's no melody, chant in your own way. Maybe your speed, at your speed. Yeah.
Bhante, when you chant it like in the song, it's like a sensual desire. You want to chant
It might.
more.
It might.
You want to chant more. People want to, sing
Yes,
along.
yes.
So I find
It
that
might. It might. Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, having said that, there are many in the market. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong, but there are many nuns and religious people or holy people. They produce discs or CDs on the chants, in a song-like manner.
Yeah. Well, if you take Imi Oi, one of the very famous persons, I mean, we had to talk.
Yeah.
What I say is that maybe they might say it's a good effort. It's a good effort, and then you are bringing Dhamma in a certain way. Maybe what you call song albums about, it's not chanting though. Let's say some of the songs about Buddhism, because music is the language of the Buddha. But if you specifically bring chanting, Pali text into that melody, you have to be careful, because there are certain ways to chant. I would say basically you chant without adding lot of melodies. That is better. Then you can focus on the chant. Especially then, if you chant melodiously, you won't see the meaning very well. That is the biggest issue. Let's say you chant with lot of melodies, you will be forgetting about the specific of the sutta. You will like that voice only at that point. That might be a problem. That might be a disturbance to your Dhamma practice. Because I told you, chanting is very important. It will give you all benefits, as you asked, only when you pronounce properly as much as you can, and then you know more about the context. These two things will be in danger if you are adding lots of melodies.
I think that's the motivational point.
Huh? That could, yes, that might, yes. But I'm not condemning anybody's effort who do it in whatever the format. Maybe young people might like it. It's okay. But if you are very serious about your Dhamma practice, yes, we will think that way. Yes.
Yeah, I want to add to this, this chanting with these people. The Christian hymn and all those kind of things, right? Sometimes people feel like by articulate in a rhythmic form, right? So it's become memory. So because when you chant, right, or what you have to see the book, is it's rhythmic, so it automatically trigger the thing. So even you're not around, it become you systemize it. So it's one way of actually memorizing it in a rhythmic manner without reading the text and that kind of thing. Because when you chant, like the text is fine, but sometimes without text, how you chant, is it? But as you remember, reading automatically kind of trigger that one sentence.
You mean like when you chant by looking at a book?
Yeah, you see,
or a text?
If you chant, you need a text, right, to read it thoroughly.
Yeah.
But if you get to understand the rhythmic, like without this looking in the book, right, it just, you will come naturally in the whole system. It's one way of actually memorizing the whole thing. That's how I see it.
True. Yeah, true. Yes. I think basically what I need to tell you is that we should never ruin the text. Just chant the way how it is. If you're going to add lots of...
Not a robotic.
Yes.
The chant is not to be robotic.
Yes.
It's to pause and understand the word.
Chant at your own speed at the same time without adding lots of melodies, because they can disturb you. But there may be somebody from different cultural traditions who might say, no, it's okay, and go ahead. Maybe that person doesn't want to think too much about the chanting. Somebody might say, I am chanting not to attain Nibbana. I am chanting just to be happy. Right? There may be people like this. So go ahead with that. It's okay. It's okay. It's not wrong. But if you really understand the chanting in terms of your Nibbana practice, then at that point melodies can yes, it can. Now remember Sakkapanya Sutta. Very interesting sutta. Sakkapanya. I will get your question after. Sakkapanya. We have to remind these things too. In this sutta, there is a man called Panchasika. He is playing I think flute or something, and saying a very erotic expression about his wife. The Buddha said, it's very good. Interesting. He said it's very good because you said not everything is erotic. I mean, he said you sang very well. That means the Buddha's idea about songs is dependent upon the person. That man, he did it for his wife. But if you are concerned about how to go without adding unnecessary flavors, just go by the chanting in your own way, but try to pronounce as much as you can.
But the Jayamangala Gatha is a melodious chant.
Jayamangala Gatha actually is a Thai edition. It's not Sri Lankan. It's a Thai monks created that one.
Even all the Sri Lankan monks are chanting.
They also don't know where it came from now. They start the chanting from Bahum Sahasam Abhining with a sign. Yeah.
It is not Sri Lankan.
No, it's Thai.
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 So like how?
Tying the string also Thai. Sprinkling water is Thai. Transferring water is Thai. Come from Thai. Because in 17th century, Sri Lankan Buddhism was all gone. At that time, what happened was that the king, supported by Bhante Saranankara, sent some monks, especially Bhante Upali, to Sri Lanka. And then what happened, 2 trips were shipwrecked in the ocean, but the third one they were able to manage to come to Trincomalee in Sri Lanka. And the famous company VOC, the Dutch company, they were doing the maritime business in the area. They did that. They did it for a different purpose, because they wanted to appoint Siamese king in Sri Lanka, Siamese prince.
East India.
Dutch.
Dutch VOC, Dutch company. They were doing all the maritime thing. So the thing here is that Thai Buddhism came to Sri Lanka. Now the Buddhism in Sri Lanka is not purely that Theravada Mahavihara one. It's a mixture of Thai and Sri Lankan one after 17.
So
That is my understanding.
There is a science chapter in Sri Lanka. It is started like that.
What's that?
Even our late chief reverend, it is under the Thai chapter.
Yeah. Now if you look at the Sangha community in Sri Lanka, we have 3 sects: Syama, Amarapura, Ramanya. All these Sri Lankan monks come from one of these. Syama means the Thai Nikaya. Syama. Then Amarapura, Burma. Ramanya, Burma. Two cities in Burma. Now we don't. So I'm questioning that. Why don't you take from Mahavihara? Because Mahavihara is the oldest in Theravada world. Why you take from Thailand and Burma and those places? Anyways, it's a different story. I want to tell you, a lot of things in the Sri Lankan traditions, they are mostly coming from Thai tradition. There are some are good, but going back to Jayamangala Gatha, it's a Thai production. But even you can chant Jayamangala Gatha without that much of a melody. But if you doing things like that, those people, you may go for that thing too. But in order for our practice to go well, I think it is better to reduce adding lots of melodies, so then it is good, right? Like you sometimes add a lot of salt, sugar to make some taste, but that food is really good without adding a lot of such things, right? Maybe when you add all those things, you will get a different flavor, and you will get sick also one day. Yes, your question.
Yeah, I'm pretty new to chanting. I think, correct my understanding, but it's all to do with intent, and chanting is really a technology for an intent, isn't it? And with prayer, it's really what I understand of prayer is that you are asking for something. Right?
Literal sense.
Sorry?
Literal sense of prayer is that.
Yes.
But I think most Buddhists take it differently.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just trying to clarify my understanding. So chanting is that technology to fulfill that prayer, is that right? So underlying it is the intent, correct? So if I do it this way, that my intent is really quite clear, that let's say I want to send metta to a certain person, that intent prevails, isn't it? It's overriding. I mean, compared to hardware and the way you actually chant it. So, in terms of also chanting, do you actually do it aloud, or do you actually just chant, as a prescribed
Text.
Yeah. So how does it work, and what's your
If your intention is good, why do you use a Pali text? If your intention is good, why do you use a Pali text and saying that it is okay to make mistakes in that text? It is okay not to chant or pray properly or improperly. I think the idea here is that first, these two English words, chant and pray, they are very strange to us, to the text. They are strange, they are English words. But we apply our own meaning to those two things. Let's say when you recite these ones, we don't say we recite chanting. Proper word might be reciting, but you say you chant. But in English, if you pray for the God. But we add the meaning, prayer in the Buddhist text mean that you may do certain things and you may expect. Like let's say, now as we know in Ratana Sutta, people have been offering flowers, food to the Deva and expecting Deva's help. Prayer, in a way. But we don't pray from the Buddha, but we may pray from, some Buddhist people may pray from the Deva for support, right? It can happen, but prayer to the Buddha is not encouraged because Buddha cannot do anything. Buddha only did his, Dhamma journey, and he asked us to practice it. So my understanding is that chant properly with an understanding of what you are chanting. So you cannot understand without a knowledge of, at least a certain knowledge of the chanting. That will give you the full benefits of chanting. On one way you are happy, you are devotional. Second is that you are developing your Dhamma knowledge. The more you develop your Dhamma knowledge, the more you feel happy, satisfied with your content about your Dhamma practice. That is how we are going to look at about this subject.
So, if I actually understand it, it starts with intent, and then there's that chanting which actually helps you optimize that intent, correct?
Yes, yes. Chanting really helps us to practice our kusala practice, because it is from the context of the chanting. Yeah, because that's why you don't simply chant. You have to learn what it is. If you chant Metta Sutta, you should know what the Metta Sutta talks about. Then on one side, you are developing your Dhamma practice. You are creating more kusala thoughts. Now today we learn about Metta Sutta. I have to understand who they are. How should I do it? You chanting, at the same time, something happening in your mind. So both things have to work simultaneously. They both work in tandem. If you only look at one side, that means your prayers will not be, they will go unnoticed. Especially to those beings who can help you.
The other question is, in terms of actually chanting, does it need to be allowed? I mean, you may chant, you may get all that pronunciation correctly and everything else, but does it need to be allowed?
I don't think so. I said it is at your own speed, it is at your own, because some people's voices, their voice are too loud, some people are too soft. But when monks chant, they chant little louder, because they are chanting for other people. Now let's say I go to a hospital, I am not chanting like in a temple, because there are other religious people. It is not out of respect, we chant very slow. If I go to a restaurant, somebody brings me for dana, I say whatever the chanting, very soft. I respect that place, because I only want to chant for those two people, not to the whole restaurant. Right? So it depends. But there is no such thing that it has to be loud or it has to be very soft. I think basically you do it in your own way, because you are doing for yourself. Yeah.
So it can be also done in silence.
Better to read it, because if you are not that much, strong enough to understand this, so better to read. Then you are able to pronounce the words actually. Yeah. Yes.
Morning, Bhante. I just want to ask you regarding the chanting, like homage to the Buddha, the 9 virtues of the Buddha, 6 qualities of the Dharma,
Yeah.
and then the 9 virtues of the Sangha. If let's say we in the house chant English, first for us to understand we are right. So we chant English, but we do not chant in Pali. Is it okay, or shall we do by language?
You mean what should we chant in Pali or English? I told you the English has issues. English has issues. There are a lot of translation issues. Let's say Arahang Samma Samputtu Vidyachara Sampanno. Let's say Sugato. Sugato was translated by well gone. What is well gone? It is not well gone. Right? So there are issues. So better to go by Pali and then try to understand in English as much as possible. Yes. As much as possible. Because these chantings have been chanted by many monks and many people thousand years ago. It's better to go in that sacred way. So you feel it, something happening within me. But if we teach this chanting for young people, students, then we will do in English, because they don't understand Pali well. But for you, I think better to go by Pali, as I think they are very pretty simple statements. So I think better to go that way.
I just like to ask, while we are talking about pronunciation, how about enunciation? Are there certain words in the Pali chanting that we need to emphasize? I give an example. In the Mahayanist tradition, we have Om Mani Padme Hum. So the Om is always been advised to be louder than the other part of the Pali. So I'm just saying that how about in Pali chanting? Is there a certain vowels of a certain text of a sutra that needs to emphasize?
No. Now in Pali we don't have that thing. Pali you should be able to pronounce every word. Other than that there is no particular Pali word to say. Now if you see in overnight chanting, when monks chant Atanatiya Sutta, they sometimes emphasize yakko. Huh? If something happens at that time, maybe the yakka came. Oh, yakka, maybe a bang of the door. I mean, we don't have that practice. They do it as a cultural thing. They say yakko. Oh, yakkas came. Or yakkas left. But we don't have that thing. In Theravada, we are more concerned about whether we chant every letter properly. So you asked a question at the beginning, Bhante, I may skip some words. That is a problem. Don't skip the words. Try to pronounce every letter fast. And if you are really into this subject, we have a class. I conduct a class about pronunciation. Online Pali reading class every Thursday on Zoom. Yeah, 6 to 7:30. It is a class I particularly concerned about this subject. So then you will know how to pronounce. How is your pronunciation? This is on, yeah. Yeah. 6 to 7:30 on Zoom. You need to register. You can go to this website, Patisota, and you can see here. Yeah, here, see. Join a Pali reading class to familiarize yourself with the Pali language and gain the ability to better understand the chanting. And Dhamma text. Disclaimer, this is not a Pali grammar class. So I think this is not another Pali grammar class. Because in Pali grammar class you say, Manusso rukkhamha patati, man falls from the tree. This is only for the grammar. We learn about the chanting and required Pali in the chanting. Yeah. So you can go here, go to this link and then register. Yeah, your question?
Yeah, okay.
We will take only one more question after this and we'll finalize.
Yeah, I understand your point that Parita chanting basically is a way of learning Sutta. And it's important you want to really walk the Dharma path to reach the Dharma. But even, I think for Sutta Chanting others, I think there's still benefits or effect, even if we cannot pronounce it properly or don't understand the meaning. Because online actually work is seriously not gathering. So with chant, we are doing many other things, only chanting. So the mind can calm. So there's an effect of this. Not only the effect on the human, I think there's also study and also really see the chant of water. When the waters crystallize very different. So I think chanting has an effect on human development. Even though I think we may not understand the meaning of chant.
I think it is a misconception. Now you may have not studied some Pali over the course of time. Now it may be too late for you, maybe to somebody. But what I am saying is that still you get benefits. Yes, you are right. You may be devotional. You think that because there is a misconception that learning Pali is very difficult. If you ask from anybody, how is your Pali? Very difficult, no?
Yeah.
This is a misconception because you haven't learned the required proper Pali and you have gone to Pali grammar classes. So I am breaking that thought here. If you go to a place where you learn only the Pali relevant to your chanting, this will be changed. You will learn what is inside and then what you are chanting. And you don't need to learn a lot of Pali. You can't do that. Even many people cannot do that. That is not necessary also, unless you are an academic person. You want to study for your degrees and all that, that is okay. Other than that, you don't have time to do that. But familiarize yourself with the basic Pali terms. That is important. Otherwise, you will get influenced by bad translations. So I think give it a try. Then you will feel, now you have devotion. What if you know the text that you feel the devotion? You'll be very happy. Let's say you've been reading this. Let's say yang kinchivitang idava hurangva sangesuvayang ratanam. Each time you say this, you feel very happy. The chanting, I do chanting, monks chant for me. What if you know this chanting? You will be more happy. You'll be more devotional. Why not? You understand. Yang kinchivitang idava. Out of all the things in this whole universe, there is no article that is compared to the Buddha. Then what will happen to you? You'll be happier. Your devotion goes up. You will know more Dhamma. That's why it is not just to say our chant, knowing the meaning. That is a misconception, not your one. Common, popular misconception that we have in Theravada. If you have one more question, I can answer and then I can wrap this up.
One day, when your friends or somebody is sick, we would invite a monk and we will do the Bhujanga chanting, night after night. We are chanting, the monk is chanting, and the sick person is chanting, so sometimes when we can. What actually happens? Because some people say we're giving false hope to the patient. They believe that when they chant the Bhujanga, they will get well, because the Buddha got well. Yeah? Some people say that when we chant the Bhujanga, the devas are helping him to get well. And there's another version that says that when we chant the Bhujanga, we get very spirited, we are very motivated, and we are hoping that the patient can get well. Now for the patient, when he chants the Bhujanga, if he knows about Bhujanga, he understands it, it's not like getting well, he still becomes very sick or he may even go worse or die, but his mind is very calm. Like there's an acceptance. Like suddenly he remembered, oh, I'm not beyond dying. But for some other patients, they're hoping that when everybody's chanting for them, the spirits are high, they overcome the death. So sometimes it's very confusing. When you request for friends to do the Bhujanga chanting, some come with understanding, some come with hopes, and some come, but they are very skeptical.
I think that is okay. Everyone has their own way of looking at it. But if I give my thoughts about it, I would say now somebody is having a very hard time, severely sick, maybe in a coma, maybe in a very difficult situation. I don't think then chanting will be taken by that patient in a Dhamma perspective. His mind is not developed that much. His thoughts are not that deep. That is why we say people, don't wait for the time of the death. Now cultivate your thoughts. Then by the time you die, you have a good cultivated thought. Now people ask, Bhante, what should I think about when I die? Really? You know when you die? What time? It's a very relevant question. In order for you to have a certain heightened level of your mind, thoughts, practice now, so then there you go. That is something. So then when monks come to that sick person, let's say that person has no good thoughts, no good proper mind. At that point, he simply or she simply sees the monk, that attire, that dress. So he has been given by his relatives, maybe wife, husband, everybody, whenever monks are coming, going to help you. I think that is a good way of feeling better at that point. Kind of a therapeutic way of taking chanting at that point. Second, Bojjangas. Now, Bojjangas are not even the enlightenment factors, they are the factors arise within you when you withdraw yourself from the Panchanivarana. When you withdraw yourself from Kamachanda, Vyapada, Tinamidda, Uddhacca, Vichicha, then what happened? Immediately, Sati, Dhammavichaya, Virya, Piti, Pasad, Samadhi, Upekka start to work in different lengths. So that is true. If you think this was only given to the Arahants, and it worked for them, we cannot only say it will only work for them, it can work for us too. But those are basic developing factors. Then other things you said about devas can come, yeah, those things can happen. I think we have to consider each case differently. Yes, so basically what people need to understand is chanting as an overall thing, chanting is a good way to give you a devotion. At the same time, practice more kusala thoughts. This is the main thing. In addition to that mainstream thing, then you would think, yes, you will be happy. Maybe somebody might say, I have gone through a lot of problems, but when I chant, I feel very happy. Yeah, therapeutic side. It is also okay. Because one day I know this person will learn Dhamma. This person who might say, I feel happy when I chant, I feel I forget all my problems. Then one day, when she or he is getting okay, then she or he will start seeing, what is inside of my chanting? What have I been chanting? So I think there are different people starting their Dhamma journey in different ways. Let us give them the chance, opportunity to rise. But if they have very weird questions about it, then we can answer. I don't think whatever you told us was not weird. They are very well good structured sections of that chanting.
Yeah, because
we arranged for Sister Bodhi's, when she was in hospital, she was very sick and she couldn't sleep at night. So we arranged for the night Pujanga. Right? The office arranged for Metta, we arranged for...
and that is what we can do.
And we heard that she could sleep well.
Yes.
Then we had people skeptical. They were saying, telling us to stop doing it because we are giving false hope.
Yes.
We are creating an environment where people think that because every night we come and chant, Sister Bodhi must recover from her.
Yeah, that's goodwill is good. Because when somebody is severely sick, can we give a Dhamma talk to that person? That is not going to work. Only a Bodhi Puja, chanting, only work. Right? Yes. Yeah, you make it very short. Yes.
Okay, one last one, right? I want to share experience. My mom actually died of cancer. I was chanting upstairs, she was downstairs. She heard my voice in outer stage, right? So I came down. She said, you know, Sat, when you chant, right, I can sleep well.
Yeah.
I can stay calm and kind of thing. The pain or the morphine and all doesn't affect me. She said, Sat, keep on chanting. It really helps to. She knows her time is critical, but she wants to know without pain.
And the other very important thing, as you raise, when you die one day, you will not be able to think about a lot of suttas. You will not be able to, because they are very specific. Only thing that will be helpful is chanting.
Yes.
As you said. That's why never ignore the chanting, because the easiest thing, and also has a lot of Dhamma also, chanting and Dhamma, the both parts. Is very important, because you feel instantly, chanting, somebody is blessing me. Right? It's very powerful. Today I ask you to take your chanting to the Dhamma level also. Then you have a better understanding about what you chant. We'll give this lady a chance and then we'll finish. Yes. Can you make it short? Yeah.
I think I understand, after this course, what the benefits of chanting are. What are the basic chants which you actually recommend for us to actually internalize?
Yeah, let's say if you are somebody who is having a hard time all the time, every day, then Itipiso Swakato Supatipanno, enough. Because they have lots of things to understand. Each quality has lots of things to understand. What is Arahan? What is Arahan? What is Samma Sambuddha? What is Swakato? What is Supatipanno? I don't think whether you all have a very expanded knowledge about these 24 qualities. I think that is the starting point. But if you want to find more expanded versions, I would say Metta Sutta is good. Ratana Sutta is a little too long. Mangala Sutta goes in a different way. I think Ratana Sutta.
Would you have a prescribed, chant book on your site or something like that?
Then you will not turn to those other pages. Okay, I would say
The Buddhist Mahavihara have
all the chanting. Okay, let me tell you, whatever the chanting you would like to chant, you can chant. You don't need to pick one. But if you ask me, I would simply say Itipiso Swakato Supatipanno. Yeah, and then the three main suttas, Mangala, Ratana, and Metta. You may also chant Dajagga Sutta and other suttas too if you want. It depends. Sometimes you feel some suttas are easy to pronounce. Right? Some suttas are very easy to pronounce. And you know some suttas better than other suttas. You can pick one of them. at your discretion. All right, let's wrap this up.
Sorry, one ask one question. Because,
Make it short.
Last few, very short. Last few days, only I found that Sugato is not well known. So can you give us a best word for Sugato?
Sugato. Okay, Sugato has to be understood in a contextual way. Why he is called Sugato? Actually, it was translated as well gone in the literal way. Su means well, Gato means gone. But what is well gone here? Now we have to understand. His two journeys are well gone. I would say properly gone actually. Properly journeyed, I would say. Well journeyed, not gone. One way is his sansaric journey. Every life, sansara. After he started Paramita as a Bodhisattva, he has well journeyed up to the point he became the Samma Sambuddha. Second, his physical journey. It is said that when he is walking straight, he cannot simply turn his head and look at the back. It is said his body is like an elephant. Can elephants just turn like this and see the back? They have to turn the whole body. That means his physical journey and the spiritual journey, they are fully blessed and well journeyed. That is why.
Ended.
Huh?
You can say ended. Spiritual, I mean, his reward is ended.
Yes. Now we understand his journey is up to the Samma Sambuddhahood. I mean, his journey in particular, the nature of his journey, sansaric journey now has been ended. At the same time, his physical journey as a Buddha is well journeyed. Right? Because we always look back at who are coming behind us. Buddha cannot do that. Yes. Make it short.
Actually, I'm not trying to ask question. I just want to share experience. Okay, just now the sister say some people now say giving false hope. I think we shouldn't. When we actually chant, we have to think positive. Last year, my mom fell down in stroke, and then during me taking care of her for 2 months, she fell 4 times. The last part, it was so serious until the glass also broken, and she has a lump. But I actually pray to our Lord, this is a goddess of mercy. I chant Om Mani Padme Hum. So when I see the clinic gave an injection. The swelling was so big. Then I asked the doctor that can we scan immediately or not? The doctor said we can't because we won't know the consequences only after 1 week. Then we will know whether it will have effect on the scar on the body or not. So what happened is on that night itself, I go back to my house with my mother. Okay, my mother lying down in front of the altar, and I actually chant Om Mani Padme Hum seriously and devotion to Avalokitesvara, Om Mani Padme Hum, goddess of mercy. And guess what? Miracles happen. The next day, the big lump, which is as big as this size, red, swollen, gone. How can this one injection immediately next morning gone? It's because of the chanting of the So I always believe that let's not say that false hope and all that. We just give our best shot to it and devote our chanting. Whether it's going to heal or not, just believe in it. And when I actually asked the Mahayanese monk, after what happened, the Mahayanese monk told me that Goddess of Mercy came simply because of her filial piety is strong. That's why she came to help the monk.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in that.
No, we all believe in chanting. We have no problem with that. We all believe. But today, what I added to you is an extra thing. When you chant, it is best to learn what is inside also, especially Theravada chanting, Pali text, so that you are journeying in your Dhamma journey too at the same time. That is the main thing we discussed today. We never discourage, ignore chanting. There are people who might do, but no. We always ask people to say, chanting is one of the best ways to train our thoughts. All right? Okay. Yes. Miracles can happen. Okay. Now, we're going to transfer all the good karmas to all the departed ones. May all the departed ones be able to receive all these good karmas, including late brother James Meditation Group, anybody who passed away in the name of that group. Anybody who passed away in the name of Wu Cho Hong and family, Leong, Chee, Peng and Wu Hooi Dean, Pong Chia Lee, Foo Meng Chu, and anybody in this audience, if any of your departed ones you want to remember, you can remember them. May they all be well and happy. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. May Deva Naga Mahitika share all these good karmas. May they bless and protect all of you. One of the purposes of chanting might be Devas like people who chant with an understanding of what they are chanting to. May Deva Naga Mahidika bless and protect you for good health, quality of life, prosperity and safety. Finally, may Deva Naga Mahidika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ittavata cha Sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ittavata cha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya akasatta cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu loka sasanang Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. May we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas in our sansaric journey till we attain the Nibbana. Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava Nibbana pattiya. Finally, today you learn a lot of different aspects of chanting. Chanting can be a mistake if you do not chant properly, if you do not understand certain things. But chanting is one of the very good ways to train our thought. We should never ignore that. There are a lot of things that you can learn while you are chanting. And you discuss, ask questions, engage in the discussion. May all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana series nichang vaddha pachainu. Chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm wishing you a very good day ahead of your time. Thank you. Yeah. If you have any more questions, please send me a message, ask me, email me, I can answer. I know it's a very limited time here, it's a very good topic. Let me know. And for those who want to join the online Pali reading class, you can join too. You can register there so you can get familiarized. Never think that it is too late to learn. You can learn definitely, because we are not teaching grammar. We are learning the required Pali terms of the chanting. Then you need them.